When we die, what happens? Do we get transported to another dimension? Do our souls go on to haunt the living? Or does nothing happen? Does the person you are cease to exist? What does this say about how we see death morally? How does this impact the way we live and the way we perceive being alive? Let's get this out of the way first. I don't want to convince you of anything that I believe. I want you to finish this video believing the same thing you did when you started it. If you find yourself rethinking things, that's great. It's great to be skeptical and let yourself think critically, but my goal is not to change your mind. Remember that. Do you believe in an afterlife? Do you believe in heaven, hell, wandering the spectral plane? It's okay if you do. It's comfortable to believe that. It makes death feel less permanent, less scary, less cripplingly daunting. I personally don't believe in an afterlife. I believe we're here for the time we have, and then when we're gone, we're really truly gone, and that's okay. It's alright that we die. It makes the time we're here feel more potent, meaningful, and worthy of savoring. Some people believe in ghosts. That when we die with unfinished business, like being murdered or in a horrible accident, we come back to haunt our wrongdoers. Ghosts are scary, but they're also a pleasant safety net. For us to say that spectral vigilante justice is almost guaranteed if you were wrongfully killed makes us feel more comfortable with the idea of being wrongfully killed. That's not the point of ghosts, but that's a byproduct of their assumed existence. I'd like to think that, generally speaking, most people value human life. We all have our own belief systems that get us there, but we all do. Or at least I hope. A Christian, or someone that believes in God, would say that all human life is sacred because God loves everyone. An atheist would say that all human life is important because everyone is human. See, these are two different statements, but they're both saying the same thing. They both stand on the same moral and philosophical ground, they just diverge before coming back together again. Now, if I wanted to pull hairs, I could say that a Christian might value the life of a non-believer less than that of a believer because God might love them less, or they're going to hell. But you could turn around and tell me that an atheist might value the life of a religious person less because they consider their viewpoint illogical. There can be no moral grandstanding here because both sides have equal opportunity to excuse dehumanization. The only major difference I can see between a religious person and non-religious person is how we perceive death. I think that when someone believes in an afterlife, they inherently will value life as a whole with less potency. What do I mean by this? When I hear that someone has died or there was a mass shooting, I have nothing to convince me that their deaths weren't anything but tragic. But when you believe in an afterlife, the thought of that person going to heaven dulls the proverbial blade of them just being dead. When you don't believe in an afterlife, people are just dead. There's no saving grace on the other side. They're not just gone from this world, they are just gone. All the potential that sat rooted in that person, all their hopes, dreams, aspirations, they're just gone forever. They aren't happy on the other side. They aren't anything. They're no longer anything. I'm not mocking religion here. I'm just trying to drive the point home how uncomfortable it is to think about this. Because it should be uncomfortable. It should make you sick to your stomach. That's what death should do to you. So that we are more inclined to avoid it in its violent and unnecessary forms. When we say thoughts and prayers, we aren't being truly empathetic. Because when we are empathetic, we put ourselves in the other person's shoes. We pretend we are them. That is dulled by the image of opening your eyes to the pearly gates. Everyone wants to be in heaven. No one wants to be nothing. Let me tell you a story. On October 27th, 1962, only one man stood between the entire world and nuclear war. A Soviet submarine was compelled to surface during the Cuban Missile Crisis by surrounding American warships. Convinced that nuclear war had already started, they were completely prepared to fire their nuclear torpedoes. They needed the confirmation of 3 of the officers on board. Only one, whose name I won't butcher, refused to confirm the order. He alone saved the world from nuclear Armageddon. But let's say that he didn't. The immeasurable and possibly total loss of life would seem less tragic to someone who is religious, because we'd all go to heaven anyway. Someone that doesn't believe in the afterlife would be more inclined to protect life. This is of course gross hyperbole and is only an example. Look, I'm not saying that religious people are inherently worse people, but I do think that empathy becomes skewed when there's no real permanent and irrefutable tragedy of death. Empathy is the greatest connective tool humanity has in our arsenal. If we cannot empathize, then we cannot communicate. If we cannot communicate, then we're all just in chaos. I think that that's a lot of what we're seeing with mindless and horrendous mass shootings in America. My solution to mass shootings is not for everyone to become an atheist. I don't have a solution. But I think that being completely and totally present in your life now, and the lives of everyone around you, and the knowledge that this is all there is a decent step towards building empathy among people. I don't want you to change your beliefs on my behalf. I don't want you to cite me as a source for your deconstruction. I want you to think about it after this video. Keep thinking about it. Really look at yourself and decide, am I being as empathetic as I could be? And remember, empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes, whereas sympathy is simply acknowledging that they have shoes. If you're afraid to be uncomfortable while in someone else's shoes, you won't find much success. And that is why I believe what I do. Thank you for watching.